Update Reddit.
Men of Reddit, what is the nicest compliment you've ever received from a girl? Talking to my crush and I asked what she liked about me the most, not random. We were playing a game asking each other whatever we wanted, and she said, "Your smile, it always lights up your face and makes me happy." I usually have a pretty depressed look on my face just because that's the way I look, but I've had my smile complimented multiple times. This one's my favorite though. I was once called a hunk by a lesbian. 20 plus years later I'm still trying to work that one out. I may not be sexually attracted to you, but you're still attractive. Big win. Not any specific compliment, but when I was finally putting in the effort in my appearance, a friend of mine told how much of a transformation I had gone through and to keep it up. She said it totally unprovoked, which was why it was nice. I had a girl message me the day after hanging out last week that asked me what my skincare regimen was. She claimed my skin was glowing and so plump and flawless. She insisted on knowing what products I used. I was flattered to know she picked that up, even though I don't do anything special. Skin so plump, BB. You're the type of guy the first wish my son grows up to be. I've gotten that one, I love that one. I dated a girl with a mental illness. It wasn't schizophrenia, but some other thing where her brain would constantly tell her the people around her could read her thoughts and were plotting against her. I know that sounds like schizophrenia, but she was diagnosed and receiving treatment for something I forget the name of. Anyway, we were cuddling in bed one night when she turned to me and said, "When I am with you, I don't need to convince myself that voice is not real. I tell it to shut up, and it's gone." Of all the things any partner has ever said to me, this one will probably stick with me forever. Same. We broke up eventually, but years later, when we met up again, she said to me, "Without you, I would not have been here anymore. That will be with me until the day I pass on." Early on in our relationship, my now wife told me that she usually didn't sleep well, except when I was there, and then she fell asleep easily. Which is especially impressive at the time, given we were cramming me, 6 feet 3 inches, and her 5 feet 11 inches, into a standard twin bed. Dopamine and serotonin are hella drugs. That I could be a great comedian. Say something funny. I'll get the ball rolling. I have medium-length hair for a guy, about maybe to the base of my neck at a push. A girl who was standing behind me said, "How does he have better hair than me?" under her breath. That made me smile a lot. Should have flipped it around casually while giving her a blue steel look over your shoulder and just said, "Fabulousness comes naturally. I always feel safe with you." It meant a lot and was also a huge turn on that she felt like she could trust me to watch out for her and that my presence could give her peace of mind. You deserve to be happier than you are. I was on a date with a Lithuanian girl who didn't have much English. She wasn't incapable of speaking it, it was just very broken. Things got a bit hot and heavy back at mine after the date when she stopped at one stage, looked into my eyes for a few seconds and said, "I love your eyes, sometimes I see angel and sometimes I also see devil." Still to this day the best thing any girl has said to me, plus she was smoking hot so that helped. I should add though that she meant devil in the playful sexy sense rather than the evil and dangerous way. Damn, that's hot. One of the starters on the varsity women's soccer team told me I had nice calves. You have an amazing body and jawline. For someone who's been fat for most of his life and struggled with body image issues, this was one of the nicest things she could have said. My wife agreed to marry me. My wife agreed to marry me. How long had she been your wife before agreeing to marry you? And congratulations. When I was 16 I had really long hair, metal fan and stuff. After vacation I came back to school with short hair and one of the hot girls in my class said, "I really like that you cut your hair." On the one hand I was happy people liked it, on the other hand it basically told me it looked like S before. Just because I compliment a change doesn't mean I didn't like how a man looked before. I just want him to know that I see him. We were talking about going bald and she said that I could pull it off because I have a symmetrical face. Strangely wholesome. Sometimes I make food that my wife requests. I'm nowhere near as good a cook as she is, but I can make sure the cheese is grilled. Sometimes after I make her something she asked for, she'll text me saying that it tastes just like her deceased grandmother had made it. For someone who can't really cook, that's one of the best compliments she gives me. Had a girl my junior year of high school. One day the teacher puts 5 of us in a group and we're sitting opposite end, and she just blurts out that I have the nicest smile she has seen. I was super shy as a kid, but that there gave me so much confidence and made me really think I wasn't all that ugly. 9th grade, wearing my ROTC uniform like some sorta nerdy failure. Cute girl looks me up and down and says, "You have a really cute butt." I'm 30 now. I will never forget. You're cute, in a way you also say to a pet, not in the way of being a cute guy. I actually love this. It really does make me feel cute. I was singing in my car one day, and didn't notice these 2 girls pull up next to me at a stoplight. One of them got my attention, and told me I had a wonderful voice. Felt good. Did you break it to them that it was a lip sync? I did a stint as a DJ presenter on a local radio station. I did the 2,200 hours hours show 5 nights a week. A woman would ring the studio several times a week to tell me that the sound of my voice made her see. Curiosity noises. I was biking home from the museum and this girl on a skateboard passed by and said I was a really hot fella. Heard 2 girls discreetly talking about how good my butt looked while they were walking down the sidewalk behind me. I guess they figured I couldn't hear what they were saying, but after 30 seconds of them going on about it, I thought it would be funny to embellish my walk and start really putting my hips into it. They instantly started laughing their asses off. Grats on the booty. Far too many guys don't realize their butt is as attractive to others as they find someone else's. Was watching Aladdin with the girlfriend one day. The scene where he steals the bread but ends up giving it to the orphans despite being hungry himself. She points to the TV and says with a big smile, "That's you. You're like a dad in a good way. You dress all cute and you're hot," made me giggle. You're not ugly, you're actually pretty handsome. Guys are stubborn, little s like this goes a long way for us. Be more direct. Off topic, but I'm a woman and have read a few times on Reddit that men are not frequently complimented. With this in mind, I've made an effort to give genuine compliments to the men in my life. A coworker of mine usually wears dark clothes, but randomly wore a bright jacket a few weeks ago. I complimented him, "Bright colors really look nice on you." He told us he went shopping over the weekend and has been wearing lots of bright colors to work this week. My mom said I'm really handsome and I'll pull in all the ladies. A girl told me I had Tom Hardy lips once, following it up with "He's better looking though." I was awkward and shy in high school. So when I graduated in 1995, I was happy to have put those years behind me. I've been married for 15 years. My wife and I love each other very much. Recently, I ran into someone who I went to high school with. Her and I were catching up when she said, awkwardly, "So, how come you never asked anyone out in back then?" I said, "I didn't think anyone liked me." She said, "Are you kidding? You were like one of the coolest kids in our grade. There were nearly a half dozen of us who thought you were really cute. You should have asked one of us out." I was like, really? I had no idea, none. We both laughed. So, basically I found out that I was actually pretty awesome. But because I was clueless, I missed out on hella action in high school. By the way, my wife nodded and laughed when I told her the story. She said, "Why do you think I married you? It wasn't for your money, honey. Life is weird. Oh well." I asked this girl I like how more attractive a guy gets when he has abs, on a scale of 1 to 10. She said 4. So I said I guess if I get abs then I'll be a 4. She said I'm an 8 or a 9 without them. I can easily say my self-esteem has been better for a few weeks. Us guys will take a compliment to the grave. You're a good person. Jury's still out on that one though, as far as I'm concerned. You probably the coolest guy the first no. Man, I love my mom.